It is difficult to lay down responsibility for the long-running and deeply ingrained Hamas-Israel conflict on one side or the other. Territorial conflicts, a history of frustrations on both sides, and a string of violent encounters have all set it apart. For that reason, Hamas versus Israel will be the theme of our debate today. How and by whom was the war initiated? The Israeli-Palestinian conflict, which has persisted for more than a century, is the source of the conflicts between Hamas and Israel. The rapid growth of Jewish immigration to Palestine during the late 1800s gave rise to this complex struggle. The conflicting national aspirations of the local Arabs and Jews were the reason for the complex tensions that persist today. The First Intifada, a Palestinian revolt against Israeli control in the West Bank and Gaza Strip, gave rise to Hamas, also known as the Islamic Resistance Movement, which was founded in the late 1980s. In 1987, Hamas was established with a mix of nationalist and religious goals. Its main objectives were to support Palestinian self-determination and oppose the Israeli occupation. Additionally, Hamas first became well known for helping Palestinians in the occupied regions with social services. The Oslo Accords, which established the conditions for limited Palestinian self-governance in the West Bank and Gaza, were the outcome of peace talks between Israel and the Palestine Liberation Organization throughout the 1990s. However, disagreements and bloodshed damaged the peace effort. The creation of a Palestinian state alongside Israel and the peace process continued to be viewed with mistrust by Hamas and other Palestinian forces. The confrontation between Hamas and Israel underwent a major shift with the start of the Second Intifada in 2000. Palestinian militants, especially Hamas, increased their rocket and suicide bomb attacks on Israeli citizens during this violent revolt. In response, Israel launched military operations in the Gaza Strip and West Bank, sparking a wave of bloodshed that cost lives on both sides. Israel ended its military occupation of the Gaza Strip in 2005 when it withdrew independently. Israel, however, continued to have authority over Gaza's borders, airspace, and territorial waters. A fierce battle between Hamas and Fatah, another Palestinian faction, resulted in Hamas seizing power in the Gaza Strip in 2007. Israel closed off Gaza, claiming security risks and the necessity to stop weapons from being smuggled to Hamas. For the Gazanian people, the blockade has had severe humanitarian consequences. Between Hamas and Israel, there have been multiple wars since 2007. These have frequently been triggered by military responses from Israel to rocket launches from Gaza into Israel territory. These battles, which are frequently referred to as wars, have left both sides with substantial casualties and destruction. During the 2008-2009 Operation Cast Lead, nearly 1,000 Palestinians and 13 Israelis lost their lives as a result of Israeli airstrikes and rocket attacks by Hamas. During Operation Pillar of Defense, 2012, rockets fired into Israel by Hamas and other Gaza factions resulted in an 8-day confrontation that claimed 160 Palestinian lives and 6 Israeli lives. Operation Protective Edge, 2014. A 50-day conflict that left Gaza severely damaged and claimed over 2,100 Palestinian and 73 Israeli lives. May 2021. Battle. Tensions in Jerusalem and rocket fire from Hamas sparked this 11-day conflict, which resulted in around 250 Palestinian deaths and 12 Israeli deaths. Both Israel and Hamas are engaging in this extended confrontation because they have justifiable complaints and worries. Ending Israeli occupation, achieving Palestinian self-determination, and defending the rights of Palestinian refugees are Hamas's main objectives. The group has frequently used violence as a form of protest, claiming that non-violent measures have failed. Israel, in contrast, is mostly worried about its security. The nation has consistently been threatened by terrorist activities and rocket assaults, which it blames on Hamas and other extremist organizations. Israel insists that in order to defend its people, it must use force. The blockade of Gaza is seen as a safety precaution to stop weapons from being smuggled to Hamas. There are worldwide factors influencing the Hamas-Israel conflict. There are different levels of outside actors backing for each side. The United States is one of the countries that supports Israel the most, giving it financial and military backing. If anything, nations like Qatar and Iran support Hamas. the circumstances are made more difficult by these outside forces. To end the fighting and bring about a permanent peace, many attempts have been made. The goal of the Oslo Accords and other peace attempts has been to establish a two-state solution in which Israel and Palestine live side by side. Unfortunately, the parties' continuous fighting and violence have made these attempts more difficult. That's it from us today. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.